In a fiery and unexpected segment on The Late Show, Stephen Colbert sent shockwaves across Hollywood and royal circles alike as he delivered a scathing critique of Meghan Markle's latest ventures, her much-hyped but underperforming cooking show and podcast. Known for his biting wit and political satire, Colbert didn't hold back, calling Markle's media content a masterclass in vanity projects and an echo chamber of royal self-pity masquerading as empowerment. The audience laughed, but the message was sharp. The public, and now even late-night television, is growing weary of Meghan Markle's perceived self-importance. Markle, once a promising actress turned Duchess of Sussex, has long courted controversy, from her bombshell Oprah interview to the Netflix documentary that many critics say cherry-picked facts to spin a one-sided narrative. But Colbert's takedown was different. It wasn't just celebrity gossip or royal drama. It was mainstream, public ridicule of a woman who once commanded global admiration. The timing couldn't be worse either. Markle had just launched a cooking show supposedly celebrating female resilience through food and relaunched her Archetypes podcast, promising deeper discussions around social identity. But Colbert dismissed them both as content for content's sake, calling out their lack of substance and the evident narcissism behind them. Watching her cook, Colbert quipped, is like watching someone cosplay Martha Stewart in a castle made of victimhood. His words cut deeper than the usual tabloid fluff because they exposed a growing sentiment that Markle's media efforts are out of touch with reality. He highlighted that despite the millions poured into her Spotify and Netflix deals, viewership and engagement statistics have been disappointing. Spotify's quiet discontinuation of the Archetypes podcast after just one season, for example, raised eyebrows. Even with the Duchess's royal clout, the podcast failed to maintain audience interest, and Colbert made sure to mention it. People tune in hoping for authenticity, he said. What they get is TED Talk fluff sandwiched between self-reverence. These criticisms, while comedic, are backed by a series of industry truths. Meghan and Harry's media company, Archwell Audio, has yet to produce any breakout hits. Critics have pointed out that the couple, despite their repeated claims of wanting privacy, seem unable to stay out of the spotlight, and not for reasons that inspire sympathy. Her cooking show, which recently aired its pilot episode on YouTube and other streaming platforms, was meant to rebrand Markle as a relatable, down-to-earth homemaker. But as Colbert mockingly pointed out, when you've spent the last 4 years painting yourself as the world's most misunderstood royal, maybe the apron doesn't fit so well. Viewers seem to agree. Online reception has been lukewarm at best, with critics calling the show stagey, tone-deaf, and devoid of real culinary merit. Adding fuel to the fire, Colbert questioned Markle's motives. Is this really about food and identity, or just another performance for the cameras? This line resonated with many who have watched Meghan's carefully curated public image unravel. Despite claiming to support vulnerable voices, she has often been accused of overshadowing others with her own narrative. Journalists have noted that in both her podcast and cooking show, guests often feel like background props to Markle's monologues. Perhaps the most damning part of Colbert's segment was his commentary on accountability. He argued that Markle's consistent framing of herself as a victim of the British press, of palace protocol, of global misunderstanding, has worn thin. At some point, he said, you've got to stop blaming everyone else and ask why every room you walk into turns into drama. The crowd erupted in laughter, but the truth behind the joke was unmissable. This isn't just a media backlash, it's a cultural reckoning. For years, Meghan Markle has portrayed herself as a voice for the voiceless, a woman fighting against systemic oppression. But increasingly, even former supporters feel she's become a brand obsessed with optics, not outcomes. From abandoned projects to strained family ties, her public life is littered with unresolved controversies that paint a very different picture from the polished image she tries to present. In light of Colbert's remarks, one thing is clear. Meghan Markle is no longer untouchable. The comedic world, known for pushing boundaries, has signaled that the gloves are off. And unlike the tabloids, Colbert's audience includes informed viewers who are less likely to be swayed by royal mystique or curated Instagram posts. Whether this brutal late-night moment will prompt self-reflection or just more PR spin from the Sussex camp remains to be seen. But as the laughter fades and the headlines roll in, Meghan Markle's media empire looks shakier than ever, and no amount of home-baked bread or podcast platitudes can fix that. The fallout from Colbert's monologue has reportedly rattled Meghan's camp. According to insiders close to the production of her latest projects, the mood has shifted from confident to defensive. One source claimed they didn't see this coming. Meghan thought the cooking show would be her redemption arc, warm, empowering, apolitical. But the public isn't buying it. That sentiment is reflected in the numbers. Early analytics show low engagement and high drop-off rates on the pilot episode, a troubling sign for a series meant to revive her public image. Behind the scenes, there's mounting pressure. Netflix and other partners who initially banked on the Sussexes as breakout content creators are reportedly growing impatient. They came in with massive expectations and a mountain of money, one industry analyst noted. But so far, the return on investment is thin. Despite headline-making deals, both Meghan and Harry have struggled to turn personal grievances into marketable, enduring content. Meanwhile, Colbert's clip is making the rounds on social media, gaining millions of views and stirring fresh debates. Far from a fleeting joke, his commentary has cemented itself as a pivotal moment in the public's reassessment of Meghan Markle. No longer shielded by royal novelty or the veil of victimhood, she now faces a media environment willing to critique her with the same intensity once reserved for palace protocol. Whether she addresses the backlash or retreats behind more curated appearances, one thing is clear: the tide of public perception is turning, and it's turning fast.